Alright. Alright. So this is like one of the hardest repairs that we do here. I already started this, I should have waited. But I got the glass off already, so I just use a heat gun for this to get this off. And this folds out of the way. And in order to pull up this LCD, you got to be extremely careful. They just don't lift like this. They're glued along the edges on the back side, so you just have to be very careful as far as pulling this up. So I usually use a tool like this that's flat along the edges. So, and there's a metal plate back there, so you don't want to pry up on that either. Istanbul, Turkey. Wow. So I usually just slide this in like this to lift this up gradually on each side. And then down here at the bottom, there's adhesive strips, so you can't just lift this up, otherwise you're going to crack the LCD. So you just got to carefully, and I always use a tool, never ever touch the LCD. If you touch that LCD, you're never going to get that fingerprint off. I mean, you can, there's some chemicals available out there to get it off, but I'm telling you, it's a pain in the rear. You're from Istanbul? Well, welcome. I'm in Nebraska. It's a little far away. And I got a customer. Alright, got some parts in. So, open this up real quick, see what I ordered. Let's see what we got. Got a couple batteries, iPod Touch 4 screen, a 5S screen, 5S white, iPhone 6 white, alright, back to this thing. Alright, so it's a good idea to have this is a rubber mat. This mat, it's rubber, and it's grounded, and I'm on a grounded mat as well. So, yeah, I've never had a problem. I've been doing this for 3 years, and I've done over 5,000 invoices, and I have yet to zap a device due to static electricity, but probably because of this rubber mat that I use. There's not a lot of static going on. But you do still need to be careful. You don't really want to touch any of the electronics or anything. Touch the housing or the casing first. But most of the electronics and stuff on the boards are like this one here. They've got metal plates over most all the sensitive circuitry, so it's really hard to get your fingers in there and touch anything. So for the most part, they're pretty well sealed once you get that deep into it. Like I said, there's tape at the bottom of this, and it's just a pain in the butt. Like I said, whatever you do not touch that LCD. I'm just trying to get this tape off the bottom here so I can get the LCD out and away, and then I just store it in a safe place. Once that's in a safe place, I can be a little bit more careless, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this up. Alright, and then underneath this is a big ass metal plate. This is the iPad mini 2, and I've cut down the number of screws on the back side of this plate. There isn't as many. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. There used to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws on just one side. Okay, let's see.
You make the decision by the hump in your Facebook. What's next? What do we do? We started at Realtor.com. Realtor.com gave us a lot more current information. Listings are pulled directly from the MLS every 15 minutes.
Alright, so those screws are out. That went actually pretty quick.
The Realtor makes it happen.
You worked with the Realtor that really knew the area.
And the market.
Well, you have someone
Let's see.
who has the expertise that makes it so much easier. Realtor.com and Realtors together.
This is keyed. Really hard to do with this LCD still in there. Okay, so that'll come out. You set that off to the side. Now there's going to be another plate down here holding the LCD down. And take those screws out. And these screws are different, so yeah, the batteries in all the iPads usually take up the whole damn device on the back side. There's only 2 cells in this one. iPad 2s, 3s, and 4s all have 3 cells. So we're going to take this plate out, put it with our screws, and then we're going to get a plastic tool and gently lift on these connectors. And never ever force anything. In my experience, anytime you ever force anything, you break something. So that just pops up like that, and then we're just going to slowly lift this out and set this aside. Somewhere safe. Alright, so now our screen is connected by this connector. And again, we're going to pry that one up. And it's got adhesive on the back side of the connector. Alright, so that comes out like that. Now we got our new screen here. And it's got everything pre-installed. These things are a pain in the ass. Okay, so I got the one that had the IC chip already soldered to this, and this one actually has all the magnets as well pre-attached and the adhesive, and they actually work. See, razor blade stuck to it. So there's a stripping down here, or this backside, this silver, where the connectors all connect in. Now, after repair, on a lot of these, you'll get touch issues and stuff like that. And the touch will just go crazy or look like it's insane. So what I do is take the stripping from the old one and transfer it over. And it's kind of tricky because you don't want to touch the back side of the glass on the mini screens either, because you can't clean it. If you do, you're going to leave streaks and marks. So what I do is I fold this plastic back so that it is folded back just to the edge of the visible part of the screen, so that I can work in that area. And then we're going to take our little tweezers and I'm just going to start picking this stuff off. So this is all the stuff you don't see in those YouTube videos. It's like, you do this, you do that. Screw the tape, you don't need it. It's not true. It's not. I mean, if you try to do this on your own, you're probably going to screw it up. I've been doing this so long, these still scared the crap out of me to do them. I mean, it's like doing those models when they were a kid. Just everything's got to be nice and precise. Now they put this capped on tape on here, and it kind of looks like crap actually. So we're going to take that off, and we're going to transfer over the original stuff. And the bad thing about doing this live is it's not, I can't time lapse it, I can't speed it up. So you just gotta bear with me here while I loosen up this adhesive. Break these loose. But if you take these tapes and you put them on there, it's going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. Just transferring over the original protective tapes and films. Because once you stick it back together, you really don't want a touch issue after you're done. It sucks trying to pull it back apart. Alright, so we got that one. We're going to stick that over here temporarily, because these other ones are going to have to go down first. Basically put these on in reverse order as they came off. If you're just joining, what we're doing is we're transferring the old adhesive and stickers. They're not really stickers, they're basically they protect the electronics and stuff underneath there from shorting out, so you don't get touch issues and I call it ghosting, or basically the screen looks like it's being touched but it's actually not. Alright, so we got that one off. Now we got to get this long one. So we're going to clean this thing up by taking this. It's kind of impossible to get it completely factory, but we get pretty close, putting everything back to where it was. Alright, so, and normally I don't do these videos. I usually don't show people how I do all this stuff because it's kind of counterproductive to be a successful business, I think, to show people how to do stuff. But I'm not too worried about this one because I've been doing so many of these things. This thing still scares the shit out of me to fix this thing. It is not an easy repair at all. The screens may be cheap and it may look enticing to try it, but I'm telling you, it's not easy. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of trial and error. I used to outsource this to another company here in town that I thought could do them. They said they didn't have any problems doing them. Said they didn't have no issues with the screen sticking down. I was like, okay, so I sent them one of my customers. I started outsourcing them. They fucked that thing up so bad. The connector was broke inside. They tried to tell me it was a refurbished unit, but the customer had bought it at Target, brand new. And I'm a repair tech, so I opened it up and looked. The guy just yanked the cable off. inside. So that literally took me a year to make that right with that customer, because I had to take on the repair and fix it. Luckily, I found there's some guys out of New York that do connector soldering. So if you ever screw a connector up, it may not be game over. You might be able to send it to one of those guys, and they might be able to. No, they understood. I was very transparent. I told them exactly what happened. So they understood, and it just put me in a bad position, because I mean, it took me a year, but I got there. I got it done. It wasn't quite a year, I guess, but it was damn close. But I'd sent them two. One, the screen didn't stick down, and the glass was cracked at the bottom when they gave it back to me. It was just such crap work. Usually if I can't fix something, I don't charge anybody anything. I just don't feel right, you know. Dude, this is hard as hell. This is not fun. I hate doing these. I hate them. It's not easy. It takes so much patience. Like, somebody would literally probably throw this little piece of tape away, and it'd be screwed. Because this thing shields the back side of the screen from having that ghosting. But you know, the nice thing about doing this and being meticulous like this is it gets it damn. I mean, by the time I'm done, obviously it's going to look disturbed because this tape's cut in half there in the middle, but electrical repair. Oh, you do electrical repair? I used to work on F-15s. I was an avionics guy, so I've kind of adapted the same thing that was true on fighter jets. If it's in there, it's in there for a reason. So it probably serves some kind of purpose to keep the plane in the air. Same holds true for your phone or tablet. If it's in there, it's doing something. Some engineer somewhere in a dark room sniffing glues a bottle was thinking, oh, phones and stuff, yeah. You know, there's been some phone companies and stuff that have been around since the 80s, though. Like phone repair and whatnot. Okay, so we'll stick this back on here. And then
As I step inside the room, I ask question after question, but no EVPs are captured. Nothing is seen by our own eyes or our camera.
actually,
However, it seems to be affecting
this one's going to go on.
mentally and emotionally. It feels
And cover this stuff
pieces of bait in a dark abyss where we are blind, but the
there.
spirits can see, and we're beginning to anticipate
That.
something very bad is about to happen.
And then for whatever reason, this one's here. I have no idea. It doesn't look like it serves any fucking purpose at all, but we're going to put it on there. Alright, that's our screen. So our screen's ready to go. Now we're going to check our button here and make sure that it's glued down, because some of these sometimes they come. Do I have my eyesight tested? Yeah, I'm blind. I got astigmatism. But up close I can see. And I used to build radar cables on the F-15. I used to go to the back room and build cables. We had cables that had to be exact length, otherwise it would throw errors. And there were triax cables. So I liked doing it. Nobody else did. So they'd stick me in the back room. I'd go build them all day long. Turn some tunes on. Build some cables. Alright. Now we're going to clean up the edges a little bit here. Just residual glue. Any broken glass. that might be left behind.
Then I started feeling like just a presence up on me. We've looked at a lot of places, and this right here is probably the biggest, scariest one yet.
And get ready to stick this thing back together. So it actually hasn't been too bad so far. I had some broken glass and stuff up here. It was cracked pretty bad at the top.
I feel like someone had a hold of my intestines and they're just twisting them like that. Can you not go back and go on any further, dude? I can't even talk. I feel more aggressive now.
The replacement glass I got isn't exact, but it is a little thicker than OEM, so it should hold up a little better. I don't know if that's actually good or bad. You know, there are some things that are cheaper to... There are some things that just aren't cost effective to replace. And I'm upfront with customers about that. And there's a lot of tablets out there, the Chinese tablets and stuff they sell in these stores that are $50-$60, and people bring them to me. They want me to fix them, and the parts with labor just make it more than what the devices were. So usually I just tell them it ain't cost effective to fix it anymore. So that's kind of a bad thing because it creates more. Those people just go home and they throw them in the garbage. So all that Chinese crap that's being built over there is getting thrown in our landfills. LCDs, batteries, and stuff like that, contaminating our soil. So, hasn't happened yet. You know, when the iPhone 5 came out, they were talking about putting in aluminum screws so that the repair guys would have to replace the screws, that they were a one-time use thing. Our landlord's a jerk. Okay, alright. So we're going to take this adhesive strip off first because it's going to be a lot easier to work around this once we get this put in here. So we're going to put this, and this thing's going to want to keep sticking on there. Feed that into there. Let's stick that in. So now our touchscreen's connected, and there's a little pad on this one. We're going to take that off.
What's in your wallet?
You work, and you want to get an MBA. But going back to school is hard, because you work. Now, Periscope University offers a
Pull this off.
new way to get your degree. It's called FlexPath,
Maybe.
and it's the most direct path, leveraging what you've learned on the job and focusing on what you need to know, so you can get a degree at your pace and graduate at the speed of you. FlexPath from Periscope University.
Alright, so we got it. I'm going to stick that
Hey, you guys know anything about
there.
backyard deck?
Whew.
Oh, that's a Jerry question. Yeah, Jerry.
Alright, now we're going to grab our LCD.
Check. Now he doesn't work here anymore. Deck stain Jerry. Good guy.
Be careful not to touch the screen.
Who are you talking to? Because only an authorized Benjamin Moore retailer can give you expert advice and premium arbor coat stain to get the job done right. Benjamin Moore. Paint like no other. This Memorial Day, Honda's celebrating what Americans celebrate best.
Don't want to force this down. What popular?
Honda for incredible holiday deal. Maybe it's worthy of its own.
What's popular with those repairs? Like, what's the most common thing to repair on? So far, it's been the screen. So far, just people cracking them or bending them. The old bend gate. Alright. problem with this damn thing is fighting all this tape. Sticky tape. Alright, so now we're going to stick our little pad back on. Probably. I do it to them. Are you a competitor? But I've been in town the longest out of all of them. So usually if I move my prices, they follow me. So they're probably calling around asking. There's guys in the mall though. I heard their rent's like $3,500 for their booth. Crazy. I can't imagine paying $3,500 a month in rent being a one-man. I'm a one-man shop. So I can be a little bit more aggressive on pricing because it's my shop. My rent's only $1,000. I got 1,000 square foot. That's with triple N's. They're paying $3,500 for a. It's not even a shopping mall. It's a kiosk. Let's open one in UK, man. That was my ultimate goal, was to open another store overseas. That'd be kind of cool. Do the European market, First Aid Cellular. You guys have more smartphones over there than us.
Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. What, dude? Something just grabbed me and had nails in my ear.
But this repair's $150, which was, that's probably. Are they everywhere over there? That figures. They may be everywhere, but you gotta be careful who you pick and who you go to. Like you saw, I mean, I'm very meticulous in how I do this stuff. There's a lot of other places that don't. Yeah, the competition made me stiff, and people price it, but they don't take a minute to go, okay, well, what kind of parts do you use, and how long have you been doing this? What's your background? I mean, it's kind of like buying a car. You need to kind of do some research first before you just take it to any Joe Schmo that says he can do it. Because not everybody can do this. I've been to London back in '96. Went to the castle, Oxford. They do just see the price, and unfortunately, like on my iPad 2s, 3s, and 4s, I get original glass. It's original Apple. There is no. I don't use anything fake on them things. So when people are pricing me, you know, I'm paying 3 or 4 times the cost for the parts. But you know, I do have customers. They know the kind of work that I do. I've got companies and stuff that know the kind of work that I do, that need reliable work, so they come here. Even if they got to pay a little bit more, they don't care. But it's like anything, you know, you get what you pay for. So, just like, you know, buying tools or something, if you buy Chinese stuff and it breaks, you know, you get what you pay for. If you buy Snap-on or Craftsman, they'll replace it under warranty. You might pay a little bit more, but if it breaks, you get replaced. Alright. We're getting there. We got our tape all down. Yeah, the resale market here is, man, it's crazy. You know, on eBay, here, I mean, you can have a $400 or $500 phone, new retail out of the box cost. You can go to eBay and it's $250, $300. It makes you wonder where the people are getting those phones at, though, to be able to undercut it like that. A lot of them are signing up for new contracts, using their old phone and just selling the new device. So You know, they're not paying anything for it, so they can afford to undercut the market because their phone is subsidized by the carrier, and they're just paying their black market. Yeah, I thought about getting into all that stuff, but I had a top secret clearance in the military, so I actually worked with some Brits before I got out of the military.
I know this sounds crazy, but could this be the Banshee? The female spirit who, when heard, tells you you're going to die, and who Aaron coincidentally heard a few nights ago also scream no?
Yeah, it's not worth it. I don't know what the crime or the punishment is for black market, selling phones in markets that aren't supposed to be there. But I'm sure it's probably pretty stiff. Alright, before I stick this down, we're going to turn this on. And the one thing I want to check is to make sure, I should have waited before I took all that tape off. You gotta wait before you take all this tape off, because otherwise it will start sticking. But I just want to make sure the bottom doesn't have any crazy touch stuff going on. Put this down like this. Hopefully I don't have it locked. So as you push down here, we're hoping nothing crazy is going on. Make sure our touch is working. Let's open up that. Make sure our home button works. There we go. Okay. So that all works. I'm going to shut this down again. Thanks for hanging in there, man. Most people don't. It's like watching paint dry, watching somebody fix stuff like this. Hopefully you got something out of it. Do you fix these over there? Yeah, the best way to get into that market is to just buy and sell used. Basically, just undercut the person you're buying it from. Make your money on the buy, not on the sale. All right, give me a second. I gotta grab my air compressor and blow all this dust and stuff off there. One sec. Alright, so I got a couple spots on there. Very carefully. That's not working. Have a spot on here. Yeah.
The new TLX from Acura. Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
I don't know what that spot was, but now it's a big spot.
Esurance was born online, which means fewer costs, which saves money. Their customer experience is virtually paperless, which saves paper.
When will I get one in for a screen repair?
So you only pay for what's right for you, which saves
For a phone?
They settle claims quickly, which saves time, which saves money.
One sec, somebody just came in. Hold on.
How's it going, sir? Built to save money, which means when they save, you save, because that's how it should work in the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call. One look at that Red Baron pizza, and you're gonna love it from the first bite to the last, because a perfect pizza requires a perfect crust. The sauce commands your attention. The cheese begs you to savor every bite. The pepperoni declares you have reached pizza nirvana. And the last slice.
One sec, I'll be right back.
The authentic taste of a brick oven pizza, now available from Red Baron. Get out! Oh my God! After Aaron had a profoundly disturbing experience during our investigation at the Hellfire Club,
It feels like I was touched by Satan.
we pursue a female voice into the forest, which we suspect may be that of the mystical Banshee. Show yourself, Banshee! Meanwhile, at Left Castle, Nick prepares for his descent into the Ovulette, which is said to be the resting place of the sinister elemental.
Alright, right now I'm by myself. I'm about to go in there. No liner, no rope, nothing. I don't have any of that. Alright, enough talking. Let's go.
If the elemental truly does exist down in this hole, Nick will be in serious danger for his life.
Oh my God.
Nick hears what sounds like another person jump down into the pit with him, so he immediately begins rolling on his recorder.
Are you down here? Is this where they threw your body to your death? Why did they do that? Hello? Who's up there? Holy. Come on. Stay. Keep your head level. Keep calm. Keep balanced. Keep calm. Keep balanced. Oh my God. I can hear someone screaming right there. I hear. Oh my God. I hear a woman screaming for her life right there.
Okay,
Still shaken up, finally make our way to the bottom of the hill to the
tidy up here real quick. Alright, I'm going to try to blow this out again.
completely shaken up from what he just experienced.
Close this up.
Heard in the empty steward's house, where the Hellfire Club also performed their satanic rituals. Jay also turned the haunted painting of the demonic Killicky cat upside down. Earlier, the owner of the steward's house told us that when someone does this, the house unleashes its dark
binding.
really scary to kind of go in there.
I was on about iWatch repairs. Have you fixed one of those yet?
I'm hearing a lot of noises in that kitchen.
Oh, not yet. I've seen the parts available yet already though.
Many disturbing things going on right now. It's hard to focus and try to find explanations for everything. I do feel something is attached to Aaron, so I decide to go inside the steward's house by myself to
Screens are available.
directly by using the
I haven't had one yet though.
As I'm looking at the upside-down painting of the Killicky cat, I hear a very clear cat voice come through the spirit box. Is this the demonic Killicky cat that the Hellfire Club doused in whiskey and set on fire, and then later returned as a demonic entity forever haunting this house?
Oh, it doesn't look too bad. This one's $150. This is an iPad Mini 2, so the parts are a little bit more expensive. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. I'm pretty meticulous. There's that glass. It's kind of, see how that's kind of sticking up just a tad bit right there? That's the only thing I see that I don't really like. Other than that, as long as we push here and the screen doesn't jump, we're good. Looks like. And the home button doesn't work. It did. Man, I hope it's just still booting up. And this is why I hate these repairs. Stupid stuff like that. And I don't know what's causing that.
Our investigation in Ireland has exposed us to some of the mystical beings known to haunt this land. But could these energies be more entwined than we're possibly aware of? Could the female scream Nick documented in the Oculette?
Alright, well that's the repair. I'll do another broadcast here later on something else. But in the meantime, I'm going to tear this thing apart and find out why that button's not working 100%. So, we'll see you later. Thanks for watching, man.